And now back to our continuing coverage from yesterday's storms this morning. One of the hardest hit areas we know is Johnson County.
In fact, overnight, curfew in Bargersville actually just lifted at 6 o'clock this morning. Our Samantha Johnson is live there in Johnson County. Sam, where have you been and what are you seeing this morning?
Yeah, Jalea and Julia, we've been really along 135 all morning, but we just moved to a small neighborhood just south of Center Grove High School, and I want to walk you through exactly what we're seeing here. If you take a look in this yard here behind us, you can see there are several big limbs that have fallen overnight, and then if you take a look on the other side of the road here behind us, you can see it kind of in the distance there, that shed with trees completely toppled over, even some of the tops of the trees, what's left of that damage overnight. And it's important to mention this area specifically because this area south of Center Grove High School is really the beginning of what officials here are calling this roughly 3-mile path of destruction. They say it really starts here in the Travis Road area, which is just behind us, goes all the way south of Center Grove High School, goes all the way east, crosses 135 into that Stones Crossing area. And I want you to take a look at some video that we captured overhead from Drone Cam 13 that really shows you the extent of all of this damage as well. We talked to families who live here in this area, and they tell us the damage is really devastating. They say they know, though, it could have been much worse, and that's because officials here in Johnson County tell us there were no reports of any injuries. So here's the 3 things I need you to know this morning. 1, the National Weather Service is sending multiple crews to assess this damage. In fact, we know there will be 2 crews here in the Greenwood area later today. Also happening today, crews, of course, will be working to reopen the roads. And a top priority is restoring power to any of the families who are still left in the dark this morning. I mentioned reopening the roads. We've seen a couple of these here this morning. If you're familiar with this area, you know there's a lot of construction going on anyway, but now we're seeing more of these road closed signs, of course, because of last night's storm damage. So take it easy if you do have to be out and about. We mentioned that curfew in Bargersville lifted just a few minutes ago. We also heard from officials there in Bargersville who tell us they have at least 75 homes with moderate or severe damage. It is early. The sun is just now starting to rise, but Julia and Jalea, we know the work is just getting started here in Johnson County. We'll hear from a couple homeowners coming up this morning at 6:30.
Yeah, a lot of work ahead. Samantha, thank you for that update.
And just in this morning, those storms have taken at least 1 life, we've now learned, in Martin County in southern Indiana.
Yeah, a person died after a tornado hit their house. Their partner survived, but was airlifted to a nearby hospital. So right now we're working to find out how they're doing. But the director of Martin County Emergency Management, Cameron Wolf, called that damage somewhat isolated.
And right now we are working to find out if other deaths or severe injuries have been reported throughout Indiana. So be sure to check at WTHR.com or our news app for any updates. And this video also coming in just after the tornado ripped through Johnson County. This is just massive tornado here. This is hitting the flats at Stones Crossing apartment complex in Johnson County. Luckily, those apartments are still under construction, so no one was in those at the time this came through. So no injuries. We did talk to a neighbor who says she still can't believe what she saw.
It's on the front porch. I was like, is that a tornado? So I got out in the yard and there's debris flying, birds everywhere going crazy, and just debris. And I watched it all the way through.
And if your home was damaged by this, we do have some resources to let you about that you can keep an eye on. That'll be at WTHR.com, keeping a list of all of the things I know that a lot of families are going to be looking for. As Chuck mentioned earlier, a lot of people reaching out to their insurance. There are a lot of resources that help point you in the right direction, kind of a one-stop shop for all these things.
And we'll have that all posted for you as we learn more throughout the day as well after those survey teams are out.